Morning guys, happy Friday, hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Now the thing of note is that we've got a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip now and peace talks. Now the thing is, the herd have been selling into war, and then conversely it makes sense that they would probably buy into peace. And if true, then we might be topping out, and they're going to they'll reverse their bearish bets and then start going along. And so this is why we potentially could be topping out because of the peace talks, which is really crazy and contrarian. But if you think about it, the herd, as soon as the war in the Middle East evolved, they went really bearish. Look what happened to price on the indices. Now just use that same logic and then turn it on its head. If there's peace talks and a ceasefire, then they're not going to be bearish anymore. They're going to start to be bullish, and then we're going to see a change on that 24-hour difference. So today is going to be a very important day in order for the big fish to try and ascertain what's going to happen with risk near term. And the ceasefire is possibly going to switch the herd mentality, and they could go long. They're going to be bearish this whole time, and then they're going to think, well, this is actually a bullish development, I'm going to get out of my bearish bet, and then that will cause like an exodus, and then we'll see a topping out on the indices, and then we'll see this change on the 24-hour difference. So this has been absolutely relentless all week. They keep adding short, and now there's some good news in speech marks. They're not going to be selling, they're going to be buying because of that good news. Okay, and that's the contrarian approach that we use in the QDB service. So the technicals are strong, but I think we're going to see a 24-hour change by Monday. Okay, and it's that good news that's going to switch that, and then we're going to be red over here, and we're a little bit extreme. There's 15 people selling indices versus the one person buying. Very crazy. And Dixie was crushed. No, I mean the VIX was crushed, -4, and the dollar's fairly flat. Tesla fell a little bit, but you can see we were quite risk on, to be fair. Green across the board. VIX was crushed, and that makes sense because we were risk on because of this. But what's going to happen today, we don't really know, but I think that good news is going to be, it will spell trouble, and the herd will start to look to buy, and they'll be buying at the very tops, and it's going to be really bad for those guys. They're going to be trapped really hard. QDB scores AC, AU, GU, GC. Pound's quite strong. We had some good data out from the PMI yesterday. It was a beat. The services PMI is by 50, so it's quite good for the pound, good for the UK. CAD Swiss, dollar Swiss, and don't forget gold's always going to be at the bottom because we don't have the data, but we do have the sentiment there, and we've got the targets as well. So you're looking to target there, or you're looking to target there if you're short. So robot, it's okay. We've opened up way too many trades, but then we're testing. We did a trade every half hour, but because we're holding on to our profits, it does accumulate a lot of trade. Before we had a trading stop, so it would kick us out at a small profit. Now we don't have a trading stop, we don't have a profit lock, so it's holding the trade until we get to TP or until we get to SL. So we won't be doing it every half an hour, it'll be every 2 hours. It's a big change. And then this time next Friday, this time next week, we'll know whether or not to stick to the sentiment only, or we need to add technicals or fundamentals to it, and we'll have a much better picture by Friday. But we should at least be breaking even because the TP is 25 pips, the SL is 25 pips, so we have to be breaking even at a minimum. But if we encounter a loss, then there's something wrong. But we're positive, so that's fine. If we do top out on indices, this is going to fall. Okay, so we have to remember there's a big caveat with the dollar and a risky currency like the New Zealand dollar. It's very sensitive to risk on, risk off flows. Okay, so if we have a big collapse in risk appetite, this is going to fall. Okay, so let's show you the indices in gold. And I think the herd are going to have to be given up because this good news is actually bad news in a contrarian way. There's how we stand. So indices are green for most part, apart from the UK 100, which is fine. So that's that. So gold, we can start with gold. Basically we're just range bound we're gonna just be caught in this range. So it's 2006-ish, and then 1986-ish, 1984. So we're just range bound. Remember, there's weekly supply up here. So the big fish had entered, and they're quite happy to have price just sit around and to go sideways, and we're sideways here. So nothing really there. You could look for a break, or you could look for a break, but then remember you've got your weekly supply. Now the indices are of note today because I think they're going to be given up there, or it doesn't look like they are on the S&P. In fact, this price action has encouraged them to sell, which is the opposite of what we want to happen. So we need this to come down so we can resume some normality. It's very, very, very skewed. So they'd sold it here, and then they sold it here, went sideways, and then they're selling it again. So we'll have to wait and see. We shouldn't really be falling because of this. Okay, we should only fall if it ticks higher. So I think that maybe that we're going to see a change on the 24-hour, and I think today's going to be really, really bumpy. US 30, they'd sold it, so we should be coming up, right? You know, we shouldn't really be falling. Poor herd and those bears. And yeah, DAX. This is crazy. I was thinking about this morning, and I think the Redditors and the Wall Street bet guys might be involved in this because they're just holding. And we're 12%. There's so many bears. They're just holding on for dear life. The thing is, they're going to inevitably, right, it will come down a little bit, inevitably, but I don't know if it's going to come all the way down to where they'd started to sell it. They started to sell it down here. If you zoom out, they really sold it down here. This was the buy up here. Out we go. It's absolutely ludicrous. So, like I say, they'll sell into a war. They got punished, and then they might buy into peace, and then they're going to get punished. So this is why I think we need to be really, really careful today. And that's it, isn't it? We've done gold, done S&P, done Dow, and done DAX. Robot will be in a much better place to say what we're going to do going forward by next Friday, and we should at least be breaking even at a minimum because we've got the TP and the SL, it's the same. So we should be breaking even, and if not, there's clearly something wrong with the timings, but we're quite fortunate to be in profit right now. So be careful today. Inevitably these indices are going to have to take a breather, and when they do, it's going to impact the dollar, and it's going to impact your risky currencies versus the dollar, and also the yen as well. So just remember to be careful, and don't forget we've got a Black Friday deal at fxside.com. So use that, have a look. It's really, really good, and it's a lifetime deal, and you can use the QDB code for a discount as well. So grab that while you can. It expires on Monday, so you've still got a bit of time, and I'll speak to you guys soon.